person. We call that a patient. On one hand, I could die. Or on the other hand, I could drop dead. How many of y'all know a Bubba? It took me so long to say quit. I pedaled to my hair, she started running. You must be Bobbie. The name for this. It's called a closed head injury. And I'm sure you have children like mine. And you know, when somebody like me opens my mouth, I know that you think my IQ drops 20 points. It's Gomer Pyle and RFD Mayberry, those TV programs. I mean, it's like the name Bubba. How many of y'all know a Bubba? Yeah. You know what Bubba stands for? Boys unimpressed by BMWs, briefcases, and aerobics. Isn't something I have found out? You know, we have some differences, but we have so many more things in common than things that separate us. We all want to be happy, don't we? Yes, sir, and we all want to enjoy our job, don't we? But do you ever have a Monday morning when you come dragging in to work and you are not happy? Say hallelujah. Yeah, we all do, but I want to stop at this point and tell you something. I do have religion. I know that there is a God because he sent me a husband that does not talk. I am married to this man named Wayne who grunts, a Neanderthal man. Wayne just goes, ugh. And what I hate is like a 2-year-old, I know what means. I don't want to know, but I know. He goes, and I think, oh, you want a Diet Coke. And then he'll go, and I think, and you want a ham sandwich. But every once in a while, he'll go, I know what he wants. The remote control. Well, I think I've always been a funny person, and I think that humor lets out little puffs of pain. Growing up was painful for me, and I was overweight. I didn't have a lot of friends, insecure in so many ways, and I learned that if I laughed faster, people would laugh with me, not at me. And so life itself, I just have chosen to view it as funny instead of see it as painful. And I mean, I certainly haven't had the perfect marriages or the perfect children or perfect anything, but I've just chosen to laugh at it. But this day I was standing there. I'd bought a new outfit. I was ready. Came to IBM, opened the door, walked down. It was all men, and I hadn't thought that through. That flustered me. You know how you just... But I thought, I can do this. I walked up the little stairs, got up, started to erase the chalkboard. This was before PowerPoint. And the man that hired me came running down the center aisle, jumped up onto the stage, didn't even use the stairs, grabbed my skirt and said, Bobbie, your skirt was all the way up in the top of your pantyhose. Do you think that was funny then? I thought, I can die or I can drop dead. And I could hear my mother, honey, always wear clean underwear. It was at that point that I remembered I didn't have any on. You know, with pantyhose, you can choose to wear an additional pair or just use what comes with them. And I want to tell you, you know how when something bad happens, how you have a flashback. Well, y'all, I have watched a gazillion. I've been a nurse 20 years. I have watched a gazillion people get dressed, men and women. And I want to tell you little thin women something to your face. Both of you. Little thin women don't put on their pantyhose like I do. Little thin women get the pantyhose out of the bag and they shake them one time. And they pick up that foot and they step in. And they pick up that foot and they step in. And they go, what? And those things are pretty much up. That's not how I do it. When I get ready to put on my pantyhose,
I drag up a chair. And I sit down in the chair, and I use this hand to help me hoist that leg up. Then I take a break. Because I have got some work ahead of me. You know, they make pantyhose for women like me. They're called Just My Size. I don't know if you can zoom in on this, but trust me, a size 3X says I can weigh near 300, 400 pounds. I don't know what's wrong with the manufacturer of large women's clothes, but they don't get it. They think that we get taller. And I try to see something positive in everything. And I have finally thought of when that would come in handy. If ever I was in a bank and I decided I wanted to have an impromptu bank robbery, no, we don't get taller, we get wider. Now I'm not fudging, that's a pun, but this is the truth. Watch this. And you know they got to go this way and this way at the same time. Now tell me the truth. Do you see little pieces of my hip leaking out on both sides? I mean, it ain't going to happen. And you know how when you put them on, it's a rhythm thing. You got to hold your mouth just right. You got to work you got to work your fingers down to the end of the toe. Then you got to stretch the toe of your toe, stretch the heel of your heel. At that point, I take another break. Because right there, they change the rules on you. Because once you start getting those pantyhose up your leg, when that waistband gets to your knees, it is so tight that for here on up, you got to go up in a hurry. Because you got to go up without the aid of oxygen. And you got to hurry on up lest you fall out. And I'm working on little pantyhose. You don't want to peck them and you don't want to run them. And Lord knows you never want to get one twisted. And I got right up to here, to what we're going to call a point of tension. And I had another flashback. I remembered putting on those pantyhose that morning. And see, I remembered that I didn't want people to know my secret. I bite my fingernails. It's not corporate. I had gone and bought the little Lee press-on nails. And now in this flashback, I can remember that when I arrived at the point of tension that morning, that I had accidentally popped both my thumb claws through those hose. And now, all that stood between all of IBM and me was a 6-inch diameter blowout. Have all y'all seen a blowout? A little rosette of human flesh. For any medical people, a little stoma, if you will. And I looked out there. Those men were pale. They were in pain. They needed a little puff of relief. I whizzed around, looked at him, said, guys, get a grip. All this time you thought IBM stood for International Business Machine. Well, you were wrong. It stands for I've been mooned.
Well, I call myself a motivational humorist, and to me that's different than like a comedian. A comedian gets up and just tells joke after joke after joke, and a humorist tells stories about life, and I combine mine as motivational humor because I'm dealing with that pain of life. I want to inspire these people to, I guess, have hope, to not get all burdened down and sad. I mean, we're going to have pain, but let's learn to laugh faster and use humor as a vehicle to relieve the pain. So I do both jokes and stories, and the content is based on what the meeting planner wants. I mean, I can talk about life or health and stress that way, or about working situations with like customer service, goal planning, time management, but it's all about the pain we have when we face those areas. I mean, not every customer is not